All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Live from Beyond. Once again, we're going to be playing Apocalypse World, continuing with our Rotten Skies campaign. My name is Kim. I will be the GM, and these are the players. Introduce yourselves.
It's
Dave, I
and
think
then
you're
Aaron.
first.
Yeah.
Hello. My name is Dave. I will be playing Quell, the water bearer on Big Time, providing the only source of fresh, delicious cucumber water that people can get here in the Rotten Skies.
Indeed. And I'm Aaron, and I'm playing the show. And really, what more need be said about the show? He is the show.
Yeah. That's great. And I'm Kefri, so that's kind of how it goes.
All right. So, just to bring everybody up to speed, campaign takes place mostly on board the Big Time, which is a floating caravan amalgamation of a bunch of flying crafts, run by Hardhold, and some of the features of the Big Time includes Quell's water production ship, which has been there for a long time, as we established last time. The show is there, kind of out on the edge. Every so often, he will play his beautiful sounds, music, whatever you want to call it, for pretty much everybody.
Play your sounds show.
Produce
My people.
sounds. And Kefri's there too, causing havoc and stuff like that. So before we get started, I think Quell, there was an HX thing that we had all kind of just determined should be between you and Kefri, even though Kefri wasn't there last time.
Okay, and that's
What
that
was
I serve the water.
Serve the source.
Right.
Yeah.
You serve the source, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll figure out what exactly that means at some inconvenient time. So we'll open with this. Oh, well, I'll just say that I think at the end of the last session, there had been a concert or performance, whatever you want to call it. And afterwards, the show had managed to seduce the lady from the market in the first episode, the buyer of the eggs. They had
Egg thief. Egg thief. Just want to put that out there. Make it very clear.
I think she
Seems like somebody's got some
purchased the
opinions.
egg or bartered for it. There was no crime committed.
She
in
took
the
it.
eyes of the god.
She took it from the show, which is certainly a crime.
I'm sure the show thinks so.
Oh.
But I don't know. Write a song about it.
Who says I haven't already?
I'm sure you have. So, anyways, we'll say that was a couple days ago. The show played. Everybody enjoyed it. I think we maintained that there's pretty much nowhere on the Big Time that you can be that you're not.
Jasper wasn't in attendance. He wasn't. He wasn't having a good time.
He was locked away in some deep hold somewhere.
Been excommunicated.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll open on this scene.
Well, can we open with HX before we do that?
Oh shit.
Is there HX that we need to do?
Well, we need to mark stats, which you do through HX, I believe.
Sure. You want to start?
Sure. So let's see. I believe that I tell someone who is the highest HX with me to mark a stat. Everyone's got identical HX at the moment. So if we want to kind of do a roller coaster thing, does it make any difference to you two so that everyone gets to mark someone's stat?
The show is the highest HX for me.
Okay, so I'll be marking you. Kefri, who's your highest HX? Is it going to be me as well?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Why don't
I'll pick one for Jeffrey or or I'll pick one for the show. Show picks for me. Kefri picks for the show. I don't know.
That works. I think that's fine. It doesn't. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on it. So the
Okay.
show.
Yeah. All right. So I'm picking one for Quell. Is that right?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. Quell. There's a lot going on here. I think we're gonna need you to stay cool,
Like water.
like a
And,
cucumber.
And I'm gonna have you mark weird.
All right, show. It's time to get weird, bro.
Oh yes, without question.
And for you, I'm gonna mark hard.
Oh, the show is so hard right now.
Stop it.
Can't get
All right,
any harder.
Kefri, there's a lot of seduction. There's a lot of seduction and lust on the ship right now. I'm gonna need you to be hot.
I mean, I am definitely a little bit sweaty.
There you go. Done.
And
Alright.
for Kefri, I'm also gonna mark weird because some weird shit's gonna go down, no doubt.
And Kefri is undoubtedly weird.
Weirdo.
It's just like your opinion,
All right.
man.
I don't think. Do any of you guys have like start of session moves? I think it's just.
Yeah, I mean, basically, my only start of session move has to do with the person who holds my leash, who's not here today. So,
Oh, it's on like spending on your like lifestyle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll deal with it if it comes up. I think.
Yep.
For now, we'll just assume that things are kind of par for the course. Nobody else has a start of session move, right? I think it was just Chevelle. All right. So, as I said, it's a couple of days later after the concert. We see a dark hold deep underneath some ship. As we round a corner, can see a circle of hooded figures sit around a small table, candles arranged in a circle around it, and in the middle, like a small dais with an egg sitting on top. The figures seem to be chanting in some strange forgotten tongue, slowly getting louder and louder as the camera kind of pans towards the center. It gets closer and closer to the egg. The chanting seems to grow and grow, and right as the egg comes into focus, you can see just a slight twitch, something inside the egg. And we cut away across the big time to Kefri,
Who
that
looks surprised.
looks surprised because he's just gotten the strangest feeling.
Yeah.
So what is Kefri doing?
I mean, he's rummaging through the trash.
Okay. Is he rummaging for anything in... Oh, I think...
He's rummaging for Dave.
rummaging for the water bearer. Quell. Yeah, I mean, he was kind of freezing up and lagging. I don't know if either of you were seeing that.
Yes.
Oh God.
There's a robot in our midst.
Some internet.
Yeah. He was just coming through in like grainy for me. But I guess it could have just been poor connection. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I think there's a connection issue.
All right, I
Oh,
think
there we
he's
go.
connecting.
Yeah. So so Kefri's just sort
At
of
a
like
hotel,
rummaging
so-
through a pile of trash, like muttering to himself, like, "Where is it? Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere."
All right. Yeah. So you're rummaging through the trash, and you get this weird feeling, like something is happening that like draws your attention or like gnaws at the back of your brain. You're not quite sure what it is, but like it's like a distraction or like a memory of a dream or something that like you can't put your finger on, but it like gnaws away at the back of your brain. And I guess Quell, you kind of come out towards the back of your ship, and you see Kefri like furiously going through your trash.
Kefri, my child, what is the matter? What are you looking for?
I say, can't talk now. It's got to be here somewhere. I know I left it right here.
Tell me. I'll help you look. What are you looking for?
So Kefri like stops and like spins around and like looks at you with angry eyes and says, "No, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's nothing. Listen, it's probably back inside your house. Why don't you go look there?"
All right, I'll let you do your thing. I'll be in the still if you need me. And Quell will return to the distillery room.
As you like turn around, Kefri's like, "Idiot."
All right. Sorry, I'm looking for something. All right. So I guess Quell, you leave him there to rummage through the trash of your ship.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I guess cut across to your ship, the show. It's been a couple of days since your performance. Things have kind of calmed down. As we said, you managed to seduce the lady for a night of good time and, I don't know, riveting conversation, I'm sure. Deep in
No
the
words. No words.
just stare into each other's eyes for hours on end.
Just flesh like velvet.
Oh God. Like deep in the belly of the Encore. What's the show up to this morning? I should say, what became of the woman? Have you seen her since?
I have not seen her since, and in fact, the show is ready to set in motion the next piece of the plan, and so he is at the moment on her way to the still to speak with Quell about his ability to bring in touch two opposing forces so that some amicable resolution might be reached. Yes?
Sure. You I guess as Quell like steps back inside after seeing Kefri back going through this garbage, he sees you walk up.
Quell, darling, if you recall a few days ago when we were speaking about the little hullabaloo on your ship, very sad, you mentioned that you might be able to arrange for a meeting with our nefarious enemies were we to gain their name.
Yes, I think that I would be able to do that. I must say your last performance was magnificent, as always. Truly a pleasure to behold. Now, did you happen to get the requisite information for us to make this meeting happen?
First of all, darling, I know that my performance was a pleasure to behold. I'm not an idiot. Second of all, of course, I got the name. I got more than the name, but I did get the name. We're looking for a Lundmina. It's a terrible name. Wouldn't have been my choice. But
So like Kefri
What are you
like
going
like
to do?
stands up immediately.
oh my boy, I didn't see you over there.
He like slowly turns around and he goes, hard to see. That's me.
Indeed. How are you this trashy morning?
It's kind of. I'm feeling pretty.
Okay, that's long enough. You only have so long to answer these questions. Anyway, Quell, what do you think?
Kefri
Well,
like
a name
leans
should
against
be
the
all.
ship like nonchalantly, like pretending not to like look and listen to what you guys are doing.
course.
With a name, I will have no problem. My little birds that visit me for water, they know all, and I will put out the word to bring this Lundmina to us, and we will have a meeting with her.
Excellent, darling.
So is it-
Also, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it a move your bring people
Yeah,
together?
it's called Peacemaker. So I will call for two rivals to come to us and meet, which I don't remember if we discussed. We would need to know more than a name. We would need to know the location, or name was enough.
No, I think that's fine. I think knowing the name is good enough. As you said, you kind of have sources of information all over the big time. A name is enough that that the word could get out. So I think you have to roll, right?
Yes,
Roll
you
plus
have
cool?
to roll. It is a
Why
plus cool. Yes.
Go ahead. Let's see what comes up.
$11.
All right. So it looks like you get to choose two from the following. They must come alone, they must come unarmed, and they must bring gifts, peace offerings, prisoners to exchange, or tokens of goodwill.
The latter two, unarmed and with gifts.
Okay. So let's say you kind of send the word out, and I guess it'll take a little bit of time to put it together, but it will happen. So in the meantime, let's say this meeting will happen this evening. That should be more than enough time for your little birds to find Ludmina and inform her of her meeting, her
Obligation.
her obligation, indeed. In the meantime, is there any preparations that must be done? I take it that this meeting will happen where you guys are on your ship, Quell, on the water ship.
That is my preference, unless the show would prefer otherwise.
Did
Oh,
we name your
absolutely.
ship, by the way?
I don't know. I never put a name to it. It was always referred to as the water barge or the still.
We'll call it the Still. I like that. All right. So yeah, a meeting is set this evening on board the Still with Lundmina, who will be compelled to come unarmed, bearing some sort of offering. And I imagine, I guess the other part of this is the show, correct?
Indeed. Now, my dear show, I assume I can count on you to be here this afternoon. I cannot guarantee that Lunmina will bring the egg as a gift, but she will bring something for us.
Oh, my darling. I wouldn't have gone to all the trouble to sleep with her if I was simply going to flibbity-jib it off. Good of you. No.
Well, and I believe that I guess
You
these
might have
conditions,
to bring a gift as well.
yeah, I think these conditions might apply both ways. So you'll have to come unarmed, and you'll have to bring some kind of token of goodwill or other peace offering or gift. So
It is, of course, not difficult to bring a gift, but as to coming unarmed, I'm afraid that I cannot simply leave my charm behind. I apologize.
I guess that's for Quell to manage.
Well, rolls his eyes and smiles.
All right. So Kefri,
Yes.
I guess you're deeply disturbed by all of this.
Oh, I think I fell asleep actually, but I am disturbed.
for unrelated reasons.
Yeah,
perhaps.
no. Yeah, no.
No,
Kefri like shakes awake and
Definitely
like
disturbed.
nods vigorously, and then remembers that he's pretending to be nonchalant, and like slowly stops nodding, like he was like stretching his neck.
All right. So, is there anything either of you or any of you want to do before the meeting this evening?
Yes, of course. If we're going to have a meeting of this kind of import, we must speak with Lala. After all, she is in charge of the guards. She might either create a difficulty or be very useful.
Fair enough. You can find Lala, as she is usually over by the market, doing her usual rounds, making sure that nobody gets out of hand or starts to murder each other over eggs or whatnot.
Indeed. So yes, I mean, the show will flounce his way up to Lala and say, "Lala, dear, I simply must have a moment with you in private."
Says, I guess here, step over here, and she kind of like pulls you down behind one of the booths. That's as much privacy as you're gonna get.
Okay. So this is a bit delicate, and I want you to understand that you have to be, how do the kids say, cool about this. We are going to have a bit of a tete-a-tete with our faceless adversary who inspired the difficulty between your people and Quell the other day on the still. I'm going to need you not to cause any problems, but also to be aware and available in case difficulties should arise. Do you understand how to walk this line, my dear?
I think you're gonna have to roll to, I guess, manipulate somebody to see whether you
Alright.
can, in fact, instruct her to walk this line.
How exciting.
Uh,
So there's two options here. I can either do the normal thing, and I'll leave up to you how we do this. I can do the normal manipulate, seduce thing, or I had an improvement last time, and I took a move from another playbook. I took the hypnotic move from the Skinner playbook, which is when I have time and solitude with someone, they become fixated upon me. I roll plus hot. On a 10 plus, I hold 3. On a 7 to 9, I hold 2. And then I can spend the hold 1 for 1. They can spend the hold 1. Let's see. For NPCs, while I have hold over them, they can't act against me. And they can spend the hold giving me something I want, acting as my eyes and ears, fighting to protect me, or doing something I tell them to do.
sure. You have enough privacy and solitude to attempt that if you wish to do so.
Let's give it a go, because this can actually go wrong, which is always the exciting thing about moves. Because on a miss, they hold 2 over me on the same terms. So, like, seduce, manipulate is fine, but like the downside is not so tasty. All right, give me a second. I don't actually have roll 20 up.
Two.
This is a roll plus hot.
Yes. All right, we have an 8. So
Okay.
we have a basic
You-
hit.
You get
So I have
to hold 2.
Yes, hold 2 on Lala. Okay, and while I have hold over them, they can't act against me. And she can spend my hold 1 for 1 by, like I said, giving me something I want, acting as my eyes and ears, fighting to protect me, or doing something I tell her to do. So she could choose to spend one of the hold by agreeing to walk the line on this particular situation.
Yeah, let's spend the first hold to do whatever you tell them. So, yeah, she agrees that she can send. Or she tells you it sounds like you've got a pretty good plan here. I can spare a few men, and I'll tell them to wait for your signal. Wink, wink.
My dear, I knew that we would come to an understanding. It's always so pleasant working with you.
Says that now, if there isn't anything else, I got to get back to my rounds.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
But she quickly walks back out into the market and disappears in the crowd. Anyone else have anything they want to do? What does
Well, there's going to be a few preparations at the still, kind of ensuring the proper barricades are set up for the source, so that when the meeting is happening, the room can be locked and no one can enter.
So let me ask you this: as a peacemaker, obviously this isn't the first time that you've been, the go-between for these types of things. I assume you have an area where this is usually done. So can you describe this this meeting room on board the still?
Yes, there is a room that I use for two purposes, both for healing and peacemaking, which I view as two in the same, really. And for healing, there is no table or chairs, but bring those items into a small room off of.
Sorry, Dave, you're cutting in and out.
That's just
The entryway to the source, and there are a few. What?
Sorry, you're cutting in and out. You're kind of choppy right now, unfortunately. Also, your picture is frozen.
Okay, so they hear me.
We can sort of hear you. It's a little bit laggy and frozen from time to time. There we go.
Kind of okay now?
Yes, it seems better now.
All right, yeah. So why don't you just repeat your description, because we only got like every third word.
all right.
So, a few plants watered by the source around the exterior, and a table and chairs in the middle.
Okay, sounds like a peaceful locale. So you said you're busy setting that up during the day, getting ready.
Yes.
This still is like an actual place that serves alcohol, or no?
No, it is the source of clean and potable water.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're distilling. Water from some combination of the air and cucumbers. Unclear what percentage of what.
It's rendered from cucumbers. Yeah, I guess the description that Dave gave last time was that, from a combination of like water gathering, like tarps and instruments and stills, they essentially kind of produce enough clean, drinkable water. But I guess I don't know how clean it is.
Okay.
But drinkable water that kind of keeps the big time going. It is the source of water on board the big time.
Okay. Cool.
Is I guess Kefri, you feel drawn towards this meeting?
Yes. Oh. Okay. So, yeah. So Kefri. I don't know if he's going to. He's going to get inside. I don't know if he's allowed. I don't think he's probably allowed, but like he's definitely going to be in there. He will sneak in and then like I don't know, hide in a bathroom or a garbage can, or I don't know, an air duct or a cupboard, or like pull up a step and hide in the stairs maybe. Those are the possible places. Anything not on that list? Out.
Yeah. Is there?
In fact,
a
I like the last
move-
one. I think he's gonna pull a step off the stairs and hide in the stairs.
Hiding in the stairs.
Yeah.
Is there a move for like hiding and sneaking?
I don't think
That's a good
so.
question. All right. Well, yeah, that's fine. I was just gonna say, yeah, you sneak
Wait,
in.
there is a subterfuge move.
But it's yeah, that's true. Isn't it like in the battle moves section or something?
Yeah, it's battle move, so I don't know whether that applies.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's fine. I think you the still is busy
Yeah.
enough that you can kind of get in and sneak off while they're busy serving the populace, and I guess you go kind of below decks and hide under the stairs.
Actually, yeah. So I was gonna say, I think I don't know how what the security is like in the still, but given any option at all, Kefri will almost certainly lodge himself in the part that's supposed to be clean and make it dirty.
I will keep that in mind. I think there is some security. I believe last time on Live from Beyond we met a couple of Quell's associates / goons. I guess there's Kem the Brewer, Treetop the Healer, and Jasper the Weird One. I'm not sure who is in charge of security. I assume it's Jasper. I guess we'll find out.
All right.
All right. So, Jeffrey, you've managed
Although
to.
I did not say that either party had to come alone.
I didn't get that.
Jeffrey could come.
He didn't say that either party had to come alone. That was not.
Yes, that's true. So I guess the show is there. Are you bringing the rest of the band or anybody else?
No.
You're gonna come alone.
I'm packing.
Fair enough. Packing your devious charm.
You know what the charm is, right? Everyone knows what the charm is.
I don't think we have to get into it.
Also, I'm bringing Kefri under the stair, so just that.
All right. If nobody else has anything they wanna do in preparation, then we can skip ahead to this evening. All right. So here's a question: Does the show? Do you come on time? I guess.
The show always comes on time.
Exactly when he means to. All right. So say you arrive. And Quell shows you into this little sanctum of his, very peaceful. The plants, tubes of water running through, watering these plants. It's probably one of the more one of the few places on the whole Big Time where there's actual plant life. I guess Kefri, you can from your position lodged in the stairs, you can hear up through the floorboards that as the show comes in and has a seat. And 5 minutes later, Jasper shows in the other delegation. You see 3 robed figures step through the door into the sanctum here, and the leading one kind of pulls her hood back, and you see it's Ludmina.
Lundmina.
Yeah.
Lundmina, how delightful to see you again.
Says it was a pleasure last time. Now says I was told to bring a gesture of goodwill. I see you've convinced the law enforcement, or the sorry, what are they called? The dusters, to at least keep their distance. I appreciate that. I know I've learned a little bit about your tastes these last couple of days. So I've prepared you this. And one of the other hooded figures pulls like a dish from underneath their robes and reveals it to be a like wonderfully smelling omelet, nicely garnished. And the smell kind of emanates out through the room and catches the show's nose. And they place it on the table in the middle.
My darling, you
and,
remembered. How touching.
and they kind of like approach their chairs and sit down and kind of look at you expectantly as to see what you brought as your gesture of goodwill.
Well, I could not simply allow you to walk in here and not give you some kind of keepsake. And so I have brought for you something of me. And he produces a triangle and like the little thing that you play a triangle with. And he puts it on the table and looks at them expectantly.
Lundmina says, what a wonderful gesture, and kind of like reaches for it while looking at you like, am I supposed to ring it or
I want to add that a rather like unnervingly large beetle like crawls across the table just as to touch this object.
Yes. I cannot claim responsibility for the vermin. That is not part of the gift. You must understand, there are 4 triangles left in the world. This is one of them. And now
This
it's
is
yours.
not one of them, but it closely resembles one of those.
But it is a replica made out of a material that does not ring.
This is one
you
of
know.
only 4 replicas of a single triangle.
Enjoy.
This is a facsimile of that replica.
This is a paper cutout of a.
This is my imagining of that replica.
she looks very impressed. She picks up the triangle and takes the little playing stick thing, and she kind of lightly rings it and is delighted with the sound. And once it kind of stops ringing, she hands it to her.
It's the
her
sound that was heard by the first man to crack a geode and see the wonders within.
Is that like a move thing or?
No, that's just I just said that.
It's just a fucking
I
thing
think
you
you're
said.
confusing the show for the show here.
I don't know. I don't know when the show starts or begins. I think like the whole thing is just like a big weird performance thing.
You're not wrong.
I mean, isn't that just
Also,
how-
the show pulls out 3 chopsticks and begins eating the omelet.
and that is a move. It's called 3 chopsticks and an omelet.
That's going aggro, I think.
Yes, heart is lit up for me. Let's do this.
All right. Well, so her and her companions make themselves comfortable on the other side of the table from you, the show. I guess where's Quell? Are you also sitting at the table, or do you keep your distance?
Quell is standing at the head of the table with each party on each side, and I turn to the show and say, "Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Lundmina, for coming. Now, I do not know the names of the 2 associates you brought with you. Could you please introduce them to us?"
She says, "Of course, of course." They both remove their hoods, and she says this and points to her right at the man who had brought the omelet, or who was carrying the omelet. This is Norval, and on my left This is Matilda.
A pleasure to meet you both. Thank you for joining us. Now, you may be interested in why I have brought both of you together, and I think that by taking part in this meeting, we can hopefully come to a mutual understanding of one another and reach a beneficial end. It has come to our attention that there have been some, how shall I say, unpleasant happenings on the big time in recent, and we believe that Yuland Mina may have a hand in this. The show, for one, has felt an affront at the taking of the large egg, and I think that these things need to be rectified. Now here, in my place, that both sides can come together and reach an end to the strife between the two of you.
She like nods, and she looks at the show, and she says, "You've been very good to me. I enjoyed your company. I've enjoyed your concerts, but I cannot agree that I took the egg from you."
My dear, the egg is
Was-
unimportant. I could not even care the least about it anymore. I don't even remember what we're talking about. Really, the issue is that the show is the audience. You understand? I have a feeling that you created a disturbance, shall we say, around the source. Normally, that would be Quell's problem to deal with. But if it threatens the entirety of the big time, it becomes my problem, because if I am playing to a room of corpses, then I will become very upset. Do you understand, darling?
Says, I understand that you could see it that way, but there's something bigger coming. And you must understand that we all have a role to play in the coming time.
My dear, my role is quite clear. And as long as there are no interferences with that role, then whatever large objects you intend to collide with is no business of mine. We've had our fun, as you say. I simply want to ensure that you are not under the misapprehension that there would be any going along with the destruction of our lovely flotilla.
She says, I'm not sure you understand. The big time will be destroyed regardless of what happens. It will come to its natural end. We are simply here to... We are
Pay no
simply
mind to
here-
the staircase. It does that when it's
Hey.
not oiled.
I believe the stair might have a cold. Uh,
No, I'm fine.
She says... So talkative. She says, we are simply here to make sure that the prophecy is or the prophecy unfurls as it should. And she kind of stares directly at you, the show, and you will play the most important part of all.
I always do. But we shall see what tune is carried. That, after all, is my job, not yours or your prophecies.
Yeah. So I think there's like a thump and like a crack from the stairs behind you.
Quell will summon Jasper briefly into the room and whisper into his ear that he believes Kefri is probably hiding in the stairs, and he could go and see if Kefri needs anything to be more comfortable.
Jasper quickly fills a little cup with water and scurries off under the stairs to try to find Kefri and maybe offer him a refreshment.
The show glares at Jasper the entire time that Jasper is in the room and refuses to speak.
Yeah, it's very awkward. Everybody kind of sits there in silence. You hear the door close behind Jasper, and like he goes down the stairs. You can hear a little like as he hits the stair that Kefri is like directly under, and you kind of hear like muffled through the floor and the walls, like, "Hey, are you okay in there?"
And you hear like
I
a
brought you a glass of
slap
water.
followed by the shattering of a glass.
Come on, man. What, do you need something?
Just loud scratching is the only reply. Audible scratching is what the subtitle says.
Scratching intensifies. All right, yeah, you is Jasper not really wanting to get too close to Kefri because he's been there before, and you know it takes a long time to get rid of all those beetles. He kind of just backs off and goes back upstairs, and he like comes back to the door, and he kind of gives Quell this like "I tried" like expression.
Quell, nods and shoos Jasper away and says, "I apologize for the disturbance. The still is home to any who seek refuge, and from time to time we get some who make a little noise. Now, please, let us return to the table and try to work out our differences here."
The show? Are you still sitting in silence?
Is Jasper still in the room?
I don't know. I guess if he was dismissed, he will excuse himself and leave.
When he leaves, the show huffs. Well then, now that we are just us civilized folk again, as we were saying, I believe, do you intend to hasten, shall we say, the demise of our dear home, or are you simply under the impression, mistaken or otherwise, that that destruction will come about regardless of your interference?
Why don't you read a sitch?
All right. Let's do just that. Which is sharp, yes?
It is plus sharp, yes.
All right. All right, we've got an 11.
All right. So there is a list of questions here. And on a 10 plus, you
Pull
can
that up.
ask 3 of them.
All right. Yes.
It's on
Okay.
page 144.
So let's say who's in control here?
I'll say that you obviously Ludmina is kind of leading this delegation, but you get a feeling that she is not like the head honcho of whatever's going on here. Ultimately, who's like in control of the situation? It's Quell.
Right. Okay. Which enemy is the biggest threat?
I guess just from this situation, you don't see any of them as a huge threat in the like immediate time frame. So as far as who can cause the most trouble right now, it's probably a toss-up between the dusters outside and Kefri under the floor.
Got it. Of course. And What is my enemy's true position?
So in this case, are you considering Lundmina your enemy?
That's a good question.
I'm under the stairs.
Drawn to the stairs.
Yes, let's say Lundmina. I'm not quite pleased with the way she's talking about the destruction of the big time.
So I guess it's hard for you, like, obviously, like, there's no secret as to where these people are in the room in this particular situation, and I'm not sure how you could gather like the location of the rest of their comrades from this. So I don't know. I don't know if I can give you
We
like a
could-
good answer.
We could make it a metaphorical position instead of a literal position. So, what is her position on the question that I just asked? What is her true position on the question of whether they are hastening or attempting to hasten or bring about the destruction of the big time, or whether they are merely following what they see as destiny?
Sure. So she will tell you we are playing a part that was given to us by fate. The events, the end of the big time, is proceeding in the time that it was always going to proceed in, and we are simply here to play our part. Meaning they're not trying to hurry it, but they think that it's progressing in good time, and they're just playing their part.
Indeed. Well, I'm not sure that there's any more to be done here. Kvel, what do you think?
Well, sighs and says, I see that you both are still at odds to some sense, and I am disheartened that no true peace could be found between you. However, I must say, Lundmina, that I do hope what we have felt and what we have sensed about your tampering with the source is found to be untrue. I would be very displeased with anyone attempting any kind of harm to the source, and I would not want to have to become angry. But
Says she says, believe us when we say that we do not consider you our enemy. We are simply pawns in a much grander scheme.
be that as it may, whatever your scheme is that you believe to be caught up in, this does not alleviate you from the responsibility of actions that you take. But maybe you could be more clear about this scheme. Give us some more insight as to what it is you think is going to happen.
She says, it is not my place to reveal what is going to take place. Not that I even know all that is going to unfurl. I simply do as instructed.
All right. So
And whose place is it?
Do you want to try to, I guess, read a person?
me, I do.
Kefri?
Me.
Yes, I do. I do, and I
Yeah.
I have casual brain receptivity.
Oh God.
Of course you do.
It's all right.
Doesn't
It's
everybody?
not a big deal.
Very casual.
Yeah. So I roll the dice,
Is
metaphorically
this
and physically.
its own move, or does that just give you a bonus on reading persons?
It gives me a bonus on reading people.
Okay.
Right, right.
Plus sharp.
Nope. All right, it's a regular hit, but also it's weird.
What? You got 7 to 9, I guess.
Yes, it did.
All right, so you can ask one question, and then I don't know. Is there
Oh,
is there
shit.
some other consequence because you're weird?
No, just like that is weird. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have the.
It's page 145. There's a list of questions. You can pick one on a 7 to 9.
Got it. Which enemy is most vulnerable to me?
Like psychically or
Yeah, sure. Or I don't know, sexually.
Oh God.
let's say assuming that you are considering the cultists enemies, let's say Matilda seems to be the one that is kind of most at ease, least on edge.
Okay, cool. Sure. No problem. Is Matilda like near the edge of the group, or is she like in the middle?
Say she's sitting besides Lundmina. Each of the of Dorval and Matilda are sitting on each side of Lundmina, and she's the one sitting, I guess, closer to the door, closer to where you are.
Closer to the door, closer to where I am. So is there like a spot where I could see her, but like nobody else could see me?
Like up through the floorboards, or what are you imagining?
Well, sorry. So she's near the door, so I thought like maybe there's an angle. I guess I'm not clear on like exactly how the room's laid out, but like.
I imagine that it's
I don't know. Okay.
like
I got it. So I have a dagger.
yes.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
like
know.
stick it up through the floorboards and try to reflect like a little bit of the like reflection into her eyes.
All right. Yeah, you do so. There's a like, I guess there are windows or openings kind of in the ceiling to let in light, and we'll say that it's just kind of like the last bit of sunlight is still shining in, and you can catch a beam with your blade and angle it back there.
Okay. Does she like react?
I mean, she reacts in the way that anybody would if you shine some light in their eyes, and she kind of flinches away from it.
Does she like look for the source?
Sure, she like flinches away and she looks to see like where the light came from.
Okay. Does she see
At
my
which
knife?
point, yeah, sure.
Okay,
She
got
sees your
him.
knife.
All right. So.
Yep.
So my.
I'll gladly try to let you mind meld whatever it is, because every time you do this, something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah. So
True.
I'm going to use if she can see me, which by purposes of my knife means if she can see my knife, I can attempt to go aggro on her. Mentally, like with my brain.
Sure. Yeah. So she kind of like she flinches away and she looks down because she doesn't know what just happened, and she sees this blade sticking up between a crack in the floorboards, and like you can see that in the sliver of a reflection in this finely polished blade are Kefri's eyes under his hood looking back at her.
Okay. All right. So
At which point,
sorry, the main woman's name was Lululemon. What was it exactly?
Lundmina.
Okay, so I was pretty close actually. I don't.
Yeah,
feel
you weren't
bad.
that far off.
Okay. Does Lundmina have a weapon?
She does not.
She shouldn't.
believe
Does Matilda
She was
have?
told.
Oh, we've got the triangle. All right, we're good. All right. So
Yeah, I guess right now they're armed with a triangle
Yeah. No, that's even
and the
better.
little thing that you
Even
ring
better than
the
I had
triangle
planned.
with.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So I would like to implant the suggestion into Matilda to, you know, using her own initiative and ingenuity and creativity to inflict as much harm on Lululemon as is physically possible with this triangle. Now.
Okay. So you say this is just a go aggro roll for you?
Yes.
Do you essentially roll for her?
Yep. Okay.
Because I can't roll for her, so it must.
No. Yeah, I roll. Okay. Great.
Yeah. So I guess roll.
All right.
Oh fuck! For the
I
first time, the mind control actually works.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
This is a go aggro, right? So
Yes.
you.
Well, so it's actually
What's this move called, by the way?
it's called in brain puppet strings. Oh, sorry, no. Direct brain whisper. Excuse me.
Who could possibly confuse those two things? God damn it!
Sorry. This is yeah. So it is go aggro. It is go aggro.
In brain puppet string.
Sorry, no, it's not. It's not that one. It's
No.
direct brain whisper projection.
You
Isn't
can
like
roll plus
projection
weird
and
to get the
direct
effects
like
of going
different?
aggro without going aggro. See, but you don't have to interact. So you can push your hand, your mind cancels the weapon. Okay. So she's gonna inflict harm essentially on herself, right? As a result of this?
No. She's gonna attack Lundmina. Oh, and by the way, if there's a visual associated with this, I would like it to be beetles crawling beneath the surface of her skin.
Sure, I have no problem with that.
You should, because that's fucking disgusting.
All right. So I imagine by your exclamation that you rolled a 10 or more.
I rolled
11.
an 11, which is 10 or
Okay.
more, so you are correct. Nice job on that.
So they will say they have to do what you want, right? So sure, she will. I guess maybe it's hard for Kefir to see, but you
He
know,
doesn't need to see.
the show
He knows.
you can definitely see all of a sudden that from Matilda kind of like she like looks down at something on the floor. Excuse me. And
Okay.
she
Real.
and she looks back up and she has like a confused look in her eyes when all of a sudden it seems like something crawls under her skin, kind of up from her neck, from behind her robe, up under her skin, and her eyes kind of like roll back into her head as she like reaches under her robe and produces this triangle, lifts it up with like both hands and like smashes. She stands up and she like smashes it down into Lundmina's head. And like right as she does that, she like screams and like you feel like you can like see a scarab like in her mouth, like crawling down her tongue, like about to like jump out. So how much damage does this cause?
It's up to you.
And is this like a one hit, or is she like, like going to town with the triangle?
Yeah. So my move is done. If she does it, then that's it. That's it. I don't do anything else.
So it's just like she gets one good whack and then like the thing is done. It's not like continuous.
Yeah, no, she stands up and she like smashes into Lundmina with this triangle, and you can immediately see that Lundmina like starts bleeding, where she's got this like gash on the side of her head as she got like smacked with. It's not like exactly a piercing weapon, but it's enough of a point that it kind of obviously did some damage. And I guess the show or Quell, you guys can react to what has just happened.
Well, I mean, the show will jump back from the table in horror and say, "Gott in Himmel!
So
What are you doing?"
Speak German now?
A
What?
little bit of everything.
Okay.
And
I don't understand the question. You'll have to speak up, dear boy. A lot of time around the organ.
and what does Quell do?
Quell gets wide-eyed and quickly summons Jasper into the room. But kind of once Jasper gets in there and,
So it's got to be quick
Matilda's
because you can see Matilda like seems to like raise the triangle up for like another blow. She doesn't seem like she's gonna stop.
if she doesn't seem like she's going to stop, then Quell will, tell Jasper to go and restrain Matilda or attempt to.
All right. Is there a move for ordering your minions?
I don't have one.
Does your guys don't count as any kind of a gang or anything like that, right? They're just
No, they're just
Or-
chosen friends, is what they are referred to on the sheet.
I mean, so I guess if it's not something that Jasper would automatically do, then it might be a seduce, manipulate, or something.
Yes,
Um,
sure.
yeah, let's do that.
Indeed.
So yeah, give me a seduce or manipulate. I guess is probably more apt in this situation.
8.
So on a 7 to 9, they choose one, or you choose one, I think. Either if they go along with you or no. Wait.
No, for NPCs, they need some concrete assurance, corroboration, or evidence first.
Yeah. So like Jasper comes bursting through the door as soon as he hears the scream, and you like motion for him to like get in there, but he seems to hesitate at like the gruesome display that is unfolding in front of him. So what do you tell him? Quell?
Jasper, you know the source must be protected. This kind of violence cannot stand here in the still. Restrain Matilda.
All right. That's fine. He's sworn to protect the source. So he like rushes in to grab Matilda, who and manages to kind of like at least hold her off enough that she can't quite reach Lundmina, but she's still like kind of swinging the triangle at her, trying to see if she can get over there, even if she can't reach. Lundmina is kind of like backed off, but she seemed stunned, and she's like holding her head, gushing blood out the side where she got hit with the triangle.
Yeah, but how's the triangle?
I think it's doing okay. It's kind of hard to see.
Because
Um,
we probably have
it's a
more
little-
than Venus, but we only have 3 more of these triangles.
it's a little covered in blood, but
Some people
you
prefer
know.
it that way.
you can fix that right up.
Oh, the tone that it made when it struck her head.
Spicy.
Dulcet. Dulcet.
So yeah, Ludmina kind of would I guess moves away from Matilda, clutching her head and seems like she's kind of dazed by the sudden attack. Norval like stands up and moves to like kind of protect Ludmina. Did you want to do anything else the show?
I mean, I don't see why I would. There's a cretin in the room at the moment, so
The violence doesn't bother you, but Jasper's presence offends.
Yes, well, violence is just another beautiful form of music, and Jasper is the absence of music.
That's true.
All right. Well, I guess after being restrained for a little bit, it seems like whatever happened to Matilda like wears off a little bit. She like swings a couple more times, and then she like kind of hesitates and she stares at the uh she stares at the triangle, and she starts like tears start like rolling down her eyes. You can see that, I don't know, whatever vision of scarabs seems to have disappeared, and she kind of like collapses back into Jasper's hands, uh, and like a whisper comes over her lips. She's like, the man under the stairs. Jeffrey, any reaction?
Can I get in the water supply now?
That's not really how the water supply works here.
I'm not clear on how the water supply works. But if I can,
It's like a
enter it-
Essentially,
It's like a
separate-
series of
But it's a series of tubes, much like the internet.
how
like,
big are these
it-
tubes? What's the largest?
no, like
tube?
small. It's like a still. It's like legitimately like a still, like glass tubes that are like, you know, this big with water flowing through them from like fucking unknowable and unspeakable places.
All right, where is it collected?
It is
Like a
behind
nipple
it-
somewhere.
the still apparatus itself is in a room that is currently
All right, fair
uh,
enough. Yeah, no, I'll leave. My work here is done. I gotta get a sandwich anyway.
you're gonna try to escape.
Yeah.
All right.
If I can go like
So I
further
think-
into the building, I'm already like inside the building. If I can just, I don't really go out into the room. I want to like continue down.
Burrowing.
All right.
I assume
So,
that doesn't work, but you know, you tell me.
I'm gonna say no. Sure, it'll be like a Bespin thing. You're kind of like dangling under the ship or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, So, anyways,
I like
the commotion has alerted the dusters that Lala had posted on the still to keep the peace, or I don't know, whatever happened, and they're kind of like rushing in, and they hear the commotion, and the other delegation is yelling, "Get him! He's under the stairs!" And you can hear them like coming down into the hold. So why don't you try to act under fire if you want to?
Are they bringing weapons?
The
The
dusters?
dusters?
Was that one of the laws? Are they not allowed to have
That is one of the laws. They cannot bring weapons.
And that's something that they broke like 4 days ago. So I suspect that they would not break that again.
They have their big muscular arms, and they are coming to restrain Kefri, I guess. They have left their actual weapons, whatever it is, chains or bats with nails.
They
in
had
them, or
like
guns.
truncheons or something.
Yeah, but they've left those behind. They just Lala posted a couple of like real brutish guys who seemed like they were more than willing to just like take a swing at somebody if they have to. Anyways, they're coming for Kefri. So yeah, I think if you want to try to escape, you will have to
What do I
act
roll?
under fire.
Sharp?
Cool.
Um,
Cool.
Yes, plus cool.
Like- Can't imagine.
All right. Cool. All right.
Cool. Oh, I'm not that uncool.
Good.
And I get a 7.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. The MC can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. On a miss, prepare for the worst. All right. So, yeah. So you kind of you realize that that staircase was kind of the only way back up out of the ship, of the still. You see a hatch near you on the floor, slightly deeper into the ship. And it seems like your choices are pretty much to take a beating and get hauled off into the Duster's detention, or dive through this hatch to whatever lies beneath, which, by your calculations, is essentially like the underside of the ship, and therefore kind of the underside of the Big Time.
Yeah. I'll do that.
All right. So you like fling open the hatch, you stare down into this dark void, right? The sun has just finally set. So it's kind of deep into dusk. And of course, all that is beneath you is this toxic fog. You can't see the land, so it's just utter darkness. Now you see a piece of chain that seems to like run underneath the still down along the ship. And it's pretty much your only escape. So you cling on to that and start like kind of,
So
scrambling, like
hold on.
hand over hand.
So as
Yeah, go
Kefri
ahead.
like throws open the hatch and sees this void, he like starts to go like, "Oh no!" and then like his eyes like turn black and he starts like mumbling in some kind of unknown language, staring into the void.
Are you opening your brain, or are you doing some kind of attack?
I'm opening my brain, but that's possibly an attack on myself, I guess.
All right. Give me a plus weird.
All right. 10. Oh, and I guess, yeah. You give me good detail. Give me some good detail. Give me some of that good detail.
Good
Oh, yeah.
detail. That's a good detail.
And the rest is on you. So good luck. Good spin your tail spinner.
All right. So you your mind seems to, for a second, you like take in this breath as time stands still, right? Everything like freezes around you and goes into super slow motion, and then suddenly you're almost in like third person. You can like see yourself like standing there at the hatch staring into the void, and then almost like again you could like see yourself seeing yourself, and then suddenly like time
seeing myself.
yeah, like
like-
it seemingly goes on forever, right? And then it like kind of collapses back in, and you see yourself like hesitate just long enough that the first Duster like gets his hand around your arm, and he pulls you to the floor, and the other guys like jump on you and start like kicking the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And like after you've kind of been beaten to within an inch of your life, they haul you back off to some Duster cell where, I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Oh, there's not like an opportunity for to do anything while I'm being beaten?
Your vision's not done yet.
Oh, this is all still my vision. Oh, okay, great. All right, I'm into it.
And then like you get like hauled off into this cell, and as the door like slams behind you, it kind of like fades into darkness, and suddenly you're standing on the precipice of this hatch again, staring into the darkness, and you see yourself kind of swing down onto this chain, and start climbing along the underside of the still. And as you go, it seems like it's like all the Big Time is like a bunch of ships all strung together. So it shouldn't be that hard to find a place to kind of climb up. There's always like ropes hanging down, chains, ladders, this and that. But seemingly like this chain kind of like goes on forever and ever and stretches on until it enters this like rift almost in the darkness, with it kind of has like a glowing edge, and inside is just this pure darkness. It's not even a color as much as just this feeling of like pure malevolence. And then suddenly you're back there at the at the hatch, and you hear the dusters come up behind you, and a choice must be made.
Choice must be made.
Well, actually, as you stand there, let's see if there's any reaction from the show or Quell. As you hear the dusters like barrel down the stairs towards Kefri. You guys, I guess, can react or I don't know, wait and see what happens.
Oh, the show loves to see how things play out.
Yeah.
Quell sighs and heads down to follow the dusters to make sure that if they do take Kefri, they do not inflict too much violence upon him.
All right, sure. So you're like running down the stairs, and you kind of get to the bottom just as Kefri makes his fateful decision, I guess.
Yeah. Well, as much as I love getting the shit beaten out of me, I think I'm gonna
Yeah, you
have
do.
to go for the chain.
You're gonna go for the Rift of Malevolous Evil.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think everybody would.
I mean, I think I'm more conflicted than most because
Devil that you know.
Yeah, right. These guys might not have washed their hands, and not into that.
No, Kefri
All
is
right.
nothing if not clean.
So I guess Quell, you kind of you rush down the stairs just in time to see
Well, hold on,
Kefri
hold on.
swing out of this
I have
hatch.
one question. Can I
Sure.
do like a it must be from some like movie or something, but like I'll be like standing there at the edge, and as they come like after me, I'll just like hold my arms out and fall backwards, but then like actually grab the chain, or
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
doubt.
absolutely. You can.
And there would be no other way.
All right. Like,
It's like,
no, and I'm like, ooh.
I didn't kill her. I don't care. All right. Yeah. Quell, so you see this, right? You round the stairs. You see the dusters kind of barreling down towards Kefri, and Kefri with a surprisingly peaceful look on his face, kind of
Well,
just
I mean,
seems
like
to
one arm is outstretched, the other's like itching the side of his face.
a very peaceful scratching of the side of his face. Drops through this hatch seemingly into the void below. And I guess for a second, your heart might skip to think that
Finally,
Kefri has
died.
just chosen to cast himself into the depths below. But it's soon interrupted by the fact that the dusters are they kind of surround this hatch, and of course they can like hear the chain jingle as Kefri scampers his way underneath the ship. They yell to each other like, "He's got to come up on the side quickly! Get over there!" And they turn to run back up the ship. I guess do you have anything you want to do, Quell?
No, Quell will sigh and return upstairs.
All right. I think we'll probably wrap up there. I think when Quell rushes out, that might be the indication to you, the show, and the other road figures that this meeting is adjourned.
Yes, the show will turn to Ludmina and I guess her two friends. It's hard to tell whether they're all a group anymore, and say, "Well, darlings, it appears that perhaps there are more factions involved than we had even anticipated. How exciting this all is. I suppose now that the parley is over, we shall go, but I must thank you for the omelet. It was divine."
Kind of who is the only one who isn't injured or like deeply disturbed right now, kind of nods at you and helps his two friends, Ludmina and Matilda, out the room, and they disappear across the walkways into the night. And I imagine
Have
the
they-
show goes back.
Have they brought the triangle with them?
No, they in the rush, the bloody triangle is left on the floor. And you
Well,
can-
knowing how Quell feels about weapons in the still, I will of course pick it up and take it with me. We wouldn't want to cause him any distress, would we?
Sure, it's a little slippery from the blood, but otherwise not really worse for wear.
Excellent.
And I think we'll probably end it there with Kefri scampering off into the night underneath. We'll see whether he gets caught or not, or manages to get into even deeper trouble. Next time on Live from Beyond, I guess. Thanks everybody for watching. We will be live again. I guess I don't know if next Tuesday, but maybe the Tuesday after that, 7:30 Eastern. And in the meantime, you can catch all of our shows on YouTube at youtube.com/livefrombeyond. Thanks for watching.
Yee.
Night all.
Good night.